Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are going to get started. We know you've got a lot to do at home tonight before you get to head off to bed, and we've had a long decades day, so I apologize for my late 80s, early 90s look, but we've had a lot of fun, and we're going to keep it going with you guys as we get set for the new school year now. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. I am excited to introduce you to who's who within the ELC. I hope I've met most of you, if not all of you, but I am Danny. I'm the senior director, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to Mary Ida, who is our operations and administrative coordinator. She is the person you will likely reach the most on the phone, and she's got answers to all questions. She's a huge resource and a great person to suck up to a little bit. Um, and then we have Paulette. We're so excited, Paulette. We have a lot of new people on the screen tonight. So Paulette joined our team in May from a JCC in Virginia and has been a huge asset to our program. She is our administrative coordinator and can help you with all things. Tonight, primarily, that will be playground. And then we have Lindsay Dove. Lindsay is finishing up her first summer as our director of Noah's Ark Preschool Camp and will be the assistant director of preschool with our 2 through 5 year olds throughout the school year. And then Stephanie Zimmern, who is our assistant director of infant toddler and also our J baby coordinator. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And then unfortunately tonight, Pam could not be here. She's our parent engagement coordinator. You should have all received a recent email from her both about an upcoming J parent event on September 4th. I hope you guys will join her, as well as a family association ask around on behalf of Alexis, our co-chair. And then Emily Stern, who is our chief program officer and most importantly, a parent within our program. You will hear from all of us this evening and more. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them if they're kind of general questions into the chat. I will answer them to the best of my ability as we go on. Any questions that come up frequently, we will share towards the end and like a little bit of a Q&A. And then if you have questions that are more personal about your child specifically or your schedule, you can always just reach out to whoever you think is the most prevalent person who'd be able to help you separately through email. We're going to get started. This is our vision as an early childhood center. We believe in creating an inclusive community for you and your children where every child belongs and every family feels valued. We are a play-based, constructivist approach to learning. We have a child-centered philosophy. And we view children as capable and competent. Our role as educators to get to know each child on a personal level, and then to figure out kind of what makes them tick and the best way to get them to that next developmental milestone, goal, or objective based on what their strengths and their interests are. We have a goal to make learning as visible as possible so that you can kind of get that sneak peek into your child's day through photos and documentation and notes that are sent home regularly, the newsletters that go home weekly from the teachers, and of course, our bulletin board presentations as well. We want to create a lifelong love of learning within all children and to partner with you guys along the way. We're just grateful to be a part of your child's early learning journey here at the J.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. I am going to be just talking a little bit about our hours and things like that. Everybody may have different schedules, but we do encourage everyone to arrive at 9:15. That gives the kids an opportunity to get themselves settled into their classrooms and engage with their friends and be a part of the different activities. And then before the teachers are either moving on to a special or their morning meeting time or something like that. To have a child come in during that time can be disruptive, and it can also create some anxiety for the child, because they might feel like they're missing out. So we do ask that the kids come in and by 9:15. The days you are registered for, that you signed up for, are non-transferable. So if you signed up for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and especially when we have the Jewish holidays and you're missing however many Wednesdays, you can't trade it for another day. You can add on a drop-in day for $180, and that allows you to have the hours of 7:30 to 5:30. If you are need either early drop off or the extended stay, you can request that. It's best to do in advance. It is $40 an hour in advance, but if something comes up or whatever and you have to call us that day and need the extra time to pick your child up, then it would be $50 for an hour with less than 24 hours a minute. We do keep track of the pickup times. And we do have the $2 a minute for late pickup. And we do go by, as I said, the checkout times in Bright Wheel, which then soon will be Playground. And so you want to allow yourself enough time. If your child needs to be picked up by 5:30, that means that they should be signed out by 5:30. It's not walking in the door at 5:30. So just keep that in mind when if you arrive and then you start having a conversation with the teacher, to just pause, sign your child out, and then you can continue the conversation. Our enrollment is August to August. We start the first day of school is August 25th, and then camp runs until mid-August, that second week of August. And then we have a week off where we are transitioning from camp to back to school, and the teachers are coming in and doing PDs and getting their room set up and everything. And then billing will start on September 1st. And the slide that you are looking at right now are the different pricings. And if you added anything or you are enrolled for something and you need to either drop it or add something else on, you would want to put that in writing. It is 60 days in writing to Danny or myself, and then we will be able to put that into effect. So if you find yourself that you're not meeting that 4:30 pickup time and you want to move to the 5:30, you would just need to email Danny or myself. And the infant toddler program, the kids are already automatically enrolled from 7:30 to 5:30. Let me see, make sure I've got everything.
All right. Admissions and placement. Enrollment is first come, first serve. Current students and siblings receive priority placement. Your ELC enrollment includes a complimentary JCC membership. Class placement consists both of chronological age and developmental and social needs to set each child up for success. Children must be up to date on all vaccinations and submit required forms before starting. Ooh, Danny. There we go. Required forms. All required forms must be uploaded to your Playground parent portal at least 2 weeks before your child's start date. This ensures that we have all necessary health, safety, and personal care information before your child begins. Certain medical or care plans are required if your child has allergies, asthma, seizures, special services, or required medication during the day. Without completed documentation and medication in original packaging, children cannot attend for safety reasons.
You see me? I'm in. I thought I'm in.
Yeah, but it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Can anybody hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Hey, hello, everyone. I'm Mindy. I'm the lead nurse at the J, and we have two other nurses, Natalie and Barbie, that come very part-time. We are in the nurse's office from 8:15 to 1:15 daily. We administer first aid. Well, I guess, do you all see this thing that I'm seeing? Meet our nurse. Yeah. We communicate pertinent medical issues. We dispense medication with a written order from a physician. And emergency cards will give us the information that we need in case of an emergency. Basically, if I can segue for a minute, health, or is this gonna, you want me to just, oh, here's everybody. Hi. I'm sorry, but I'm just got on Zoom. I don't have what's up there. Anyway, it's mandatory to have health forms in before your child starts. So I have a folder or a file on each of your children. And right now, all of them are empty. So I need health forms. We need part 1, which you fill out. We need an emergency form, which you fill out. A doctor fills out part 2, and then I need immunizations. And if your child is 1 or above, 1 year or above, they need lead testing at 1 year and 2 years. If you go on the Playground app, all the medical forms are there for you to fill out. Some you can just fill out right there and upload them, and I'll have them and put them in their file. If you write on any of these forms about an allergy to milk, to eggs, to anything, I'm going to call you and we'll have a talk about what can keep your child safe and why, if they can have milk, if they need special milk, you need to bring in the milk. We serve 1% to children over 2, and anybody under 2 gets whole milk. If you want something else, feel free, bring it in, label it, and that's what we will give your child. Children get lead tested at age 1 and age 2. I will need that your physician should have. And everything can be uploaded to the Playground. We need updated, more than anything, we need these emergency forms filled out completely with phone numbers and clearly everything written so that we can get in touch with you if need be. I will get in touch with you if your child has a fever above 100.4, that is reason to go home. If they have diarrhea times 3, if they vomit 3 times, and if they have anything that might be conjunctivitis or possible lice or anything like that. Now, I will give you a heads up if, say, they're just not themselves and they're not at 100.4, they're at 99.6, but I'll give you an idea of how your child's doing during the day. They will have to stay home if your child's sent home, they have to stay home for 24 hours and return when they don't have fever without the aid of Motrin or Tylenol for 24 hours. I hope that makes sense. Medication. Any child that needs to be on medication, whether it be an inhaler, an EpiPen, or something as simple as Tylenol or bacitracin, anything, I need a doctor's order. Even for over-the-counter meds. I need a doctor's order and I need the medication in its original container with the child's name on it. We are a nut-free school, so everything, do I do the nut or somebody else? So everything has to be nut-free. I believe if it says that it may come from a factory that has nuts, that would be okay. But if there's any nuts in the product, we will bag it and send it home. So if you have any loose food that you're sending in for your child, put it in a plastic bag and label it no nut. If there's nothing that we can look at. Sometimes we look at the label of the bar and we see that it may contain nuts. That will be sent home because we just have to be careful of any of our other children that, to keep them safe that may have a nut allergy. Let me see what else I can share. The three things, like I said, that they go home for is above 100.4 vomiting, diarrhea times 3, and sometimes they just don't feel good. Nothing, they're just not themselves. And that's basically it. I am always available. You can call me in the morning and say, you know what, my child's just having a hard morning, and I will go in and check on them. If you feel like you just want to share something with me, I'm happy to listen. And so feel free to call my office at any time, and I will also be in touch with you. Okay, thank you. I'm not on.
Hi. So at our preschool, we believe that every child deserves a safe and nurturing environment. And the area where they are, that it supports them in all the ways that they develop. We're guided by one of the Jewish values, B'Tselem Elohim, which is seeing the divine and dignity and potential of every single child and person. And that's one of the reasons why we are a very welcoming facility, regardless of race or religion or orientation or background. We celebrate diversity all the time. And we teach the children that acceptance through doing it by ourselves, to model the behaviors, that they learn how to do it, and they're encouraged in a positive way to do so. We do not, we do not allow any type of bullying, and we prioritize a safe and comfortable environment that builds self-esteem. We emphasize kavod, which is a Hebrew word for respect. And so the respect of others as a core community value that's throughout the school. As Danny mentioned earlier, we are a hands-on and child-centered program. And one of the things that we try in all ages is to encourage the children to explore, to problem solve, to express themselves through any medium that they have available to them, whether that's Legos or that's painting or that's song or it's movement, whatever it may be. It's how they are expressing their learning. With that being said, we believe that each child is a competent learner and they're able to make sense of their knowledge, to construct knowledge actively and thrive as they cooperate and learn how to communicate with their friends, with their peers. Educators or teachers are continually reflecting on best practices in creating an innovative and responsive environment that meets each and every child's need. We build strong partnerships with families to understand each child's unique culture, language, background that informs our curriculum. Our daily schedules are a balance between child-initiated as well as teacher-directed activities. And there's always ample time to be outside of the fresh air, and that they go outside in all types of weather. Jewish culture and values are woven throughout the curriculum to foster character development, using creative curriculum alongside with Chagenu, which is our holiday-based Jewish curriculum, and an ethical start, Pirkei Avot, our ethics curriculum. And we also use conscious discipline as a framework for classroom management and teaching social emotional skills, helping children to develop resilience and kindness. Our classrooms are designed as a spacious learning environment that encourage children to explore and make choices on their own. Each room is set up to have a home-like feeling and inspire their creativity and flexibility. It's made to support them, to support their learning at their eye level, and being able to support them, whether it's one-on-one or small groups or large group activities. It meets the needs of diverse learners. As I mentioned before, that the children spend time outside every day, whether it's taking a walk around the building on the trails, or it is they're on the natural playground or the universal playground. They're always building on their development in regards to language, math, science, and social skills. And it's how the teachers use child-directed and guided choices to help them adapt to the environment that they're in, and based on what they need as well as what they're interested in. So it leads the learning. Teachers do have time for non-student contact time, and that is their opportunity to organize and modify materials for each child to be able to participate, to make sure that each child is able to do, the same thing, just maybe differentiated for different children as they need. The materials and schedules are intentionally adapted to support the diverse backgrounds, abilities, and social interactions.
Our educators are reflective practitioners who tailor lessons to children's age, interests, culture, and developmental abilities. They create opportunities for social interaction, creativity, physical activity, and Jewish learning. Supported by ongoing professional development and mentoring, teachers are lifelong learners inspired by Jewish tradition. Teachers believe in each child's capability, partner with children as co-learners and researchers, encourage problem solving, collaboration, and conflict resolution, organize intentional, inviting environments, document children's learning visibly for families and children, maintain ongoing dialogue with families to connect home and school. Learning is collaborative and social, with teachers promoting critical thinking through open-ended questions in a safe environment. Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. Daily learning overview. Imaginative play and multisensory exploration. A balance of individual, small group, and whole class activities. Indoor and outdoor experiences and specials. A blend of child-initiated and teacher-guided learning. The schedule is structured yet flexible. It's adapted to weather, interests, and current events. It prioritizes authentic learning and child rhythms.
So again, one of the big things that we believe as a leadership team, as well as the school throughout, is that it's a positive place for children to develop all the social, emotional skills, as well as the behavior that they are learning, and encouraged to act as a community member. Our approach, we encourage respectful partnerships where teachers engage with the children as trusting partners. So it's not just one-sided, it's both-sided, so that it's a understanding and it is a cohesive relationship. We assure that, again, that things are developmentally appropriate. We are very conscious of what each age, their developmental needs are, and what they're able to do, and where they're growing to in their next area. And we are looking for a big encouragement of their independence. We empower their we empower them to be themselves, as well as to make choices about their activities, their seating, materials to foster their ownership of their learning. So they take control of how they learn and to make it appropriate for them. There is problem solving all the time. When conflicts arise, children are guided to understand different perspectives and express their feelings with words and participate in finding solutions. That's one of those skills that it is a lifelong skill, and it's a constant learning. The community values of empathy and kindness and the importance of being a caring community as a whole. Our goal is to foster a nurturing and respectful and safe environment where all children can grow socially, emotionally, and academically. We appreciate the unique qualities each child brings and commit to partnering with families, with you, to support their development.
I'm just going to add on to that as well, that with B'Tselem Elohim, and I'm sure we've spoken about this on different occasions when you've learned about the program or read about us online, things like that, allows us the opportunity to honor B'Tselem Elohim, and celebrate the things we have in common with one another, but also learn from, honor and respect the things that make each of us diverse, individual, and unique. And so, while we talk a lot about the Jewish holidays and these Jewish values, there are ways to see this in everybody's life. And so, I want to be sure that families know that if there are customs or traditions or values that are important to your family that may be different than the way that we're talking about them in school, we always invite you to join us to teach us, to model different things that are important in your lives. We want every child to feel like they are a important and valuable part of our program. And that looks differently throughout the year, across different classrooms and ages and whatnot. But we always want to make sure that we're representing everybody that makes up the magic within our community, not just the Jewish values or things like that. Or if you've got different customs and traditions in your family, even if they may be something we are celebrating in school, we'd still love to learn more about that. So while the teachers invite you regularly, I just want to make sure you all feel empowered to be able to reach out and make suggestions, get involved, volunteer, or visit us as well. Which is why it is so important that we do view parents as engaged partners. You are your child's first teachers. As I mentioned earlier, we're just excited to join you on this journey. When you are engaged partners, you feel valued as also competent thinkers and learners, just as we refer to the children, that you have opportunities to celebrate alongside your children, their learning, their growth, and their development, that you can communicate in open, honest, two-way communication with your child's teachers, with specialists, with familiar faces you get to see regularly with all of us here on this screen, and most importantly, also with each other, about the learning and the milestones and the development that your child is going through. And also sometimes it's challenges. We have a WhatsApp group that will be shared as it gets a little bit closer for families, and there are different kind of breakout groups you can join within them. And most recently, there were two big conversations. One was a 3-year-old going through a 2-year-old going through a sleep regression, and the other was a 3-year-old going through being picky about what the parents can send in for lunch. And the way that these parents independently reached out to this WhatsApp group of hundreds of parents who are all within this ELC community was really, for me at least, a beautiful thing to know about, because I love that what we do here is get the honor and opportunity to bring all of you together. You can partner with us. You can check out the calendar. Paulette's been working hard to get all these dates set up in Brightwheel. If you haven't looked at the calendar in Brightwheel yet, you can open each event and actually save it to your phone as well. So I met grandmothers today, and I let them know that in November we have a special Grand Friends event. In September, we have our curriculum night, like a back to school night. Set these dates up in your calendar and on International Family Day in May, we do a special family Shabbat, things like that. Reserve that time. Come join us on the 24th. Get to be a part of the community and get to know people. I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Pam, and I'll talk again about Family Association. That's a great way to be involved and invested in your child's time here at the J. You've got so many skills in this community that we just want to be able to bring people together and know who we can reach out to and get some support from. And just, maybe coming and serving food at one of our events, is a great way to get to know people. And to lend a hand. Also, Paulette and Mary Ida are always looking for volunteers who want to help cut fresh fruit and vegetables. Paulette and our librarian Sonia are working so hard in the library right now to organize things. If we have parents who either love reading or our librarians or happen to maybe have Tuesday mornings off, I made up that day and time, we can be really flexible and want to be able to come and support us in that space. Please just reach out. We love nothing more than getting to know you guys better and to being able to partner with you. Our family association has really gone through different iterations since the pandemic when we weren't able to have parents here. And then when we brought it back, we have an incredible chair this year, Alexis Creevy, who had sent the letter that Pam sent the letter on the behalf of. She has an infant who's joining our program this fall, as well as a 3-year-old who's here. Ashley Deemers has a recent graduate that we're getting ready to say goodbye to as he heads off to kindergarten, and a 3-year-old as well, and she'll be our treasurer. And we are looking for a secretary or a co-chair and committee chairs for different events that happen throughout the year, as well as one-off volunteers also. But we want to be able to hear your voice, and often coming to Family Association gives you a great opportunity to not only, build relationships with other families here, but also to weigh in on upcoming events and themes and decoration and all those kinds of things that I love doing. So we hope that you'll join us. The QR code here on this screen and the link when you get it clickably will bring you to the survey, the questionnaire, I guess, that Pam had sent out earlier this week and last week. If you happen to be one of the lucky ones who received both, she and I are both the lucky people going through Gmail issues. So when we send Gmails, often they get bounced back like 48 hours later. So we don't know when we send them if they're going through. So if you ever have any questions, please reach out. We're happy to resend or figure out what's going on. One of the very important roles within the Family Association is our class champions. When you were in school, they were probably called class parents. We're trying to be inclusive, and really the name is so fitting because you are a champion for your child, the children in that class, and those teachers. Some of the main roles of a class champion include setting up hopefully a class-wide holiday gift, as well as an end of the year gift. When it comes to Teacher Appreciation Week, our Family Association works really hard. They kind of cover those gifts. And it's an exciting week that is not nearly enough for all the gratitude we have for our educators, but it makes it a really special time for them. So if you're interested, when we did our silent auction last year, our class champions made a basket for each room. When we were purchasing books for the classroom at the end of Scholastic Book Fair, the class champions were a big help. When it's time for the classes to need volunteers to come in to make latkes in December or Hamantaschen at Purim, if you're not able to as a class champion, just being able to get the word out there is always really helpful. And the teachers are always grateful for that extra pair of hands and coordination, as well as manning the breakout group for your classroom in that WhatsApp group I mentioned. J-Parent is an incredible grant that we received through the Tepper organization last year. We're heading into year 2. This is your group that I was mentioning that Pam leads. It is all about inspiring that next Jewish generation. The real caveat is that you don't have to be Jewish to participate in most of the events. However, there is some Jewish learning weaved into everything that we do, much like what we tell the children, what we tell you about school as well. Our Jewish values are seamlessly woven into everything that we do, but they are universal values that I think any parent can connect with during this time in your life. The bigger qualifier for a J-Parent event is that you must have a child under the age of 7, and lucky you, all of you do. Their first event of the year is going to be September 4th. There are There's an Israeli comedian coming up to the Gordon, and for half the price of a ticket, if you were to purchase it on your own, you can not only go see the show, but also participate in a really fun happy hour beforehand. And there's tons of events from parent night outs to parent education series. And we hope that you'll be able to participate and get to know that community as well. Rabbi Ariel leads our J Life program, and J Life is very similar to J Parent. However, it's geared towards you and your children. Hands on Holidays is a big event that they offer. They also do big, what we would call like wow events, these large scale family celebrations. The first one of the year is during Sukkot. They have a fall harvest festival. I believe that this year during Hanukkah, like I think the Wednesday night of Hanukkah, they are doing a huge Lego Hanukkah with, I wish I'd read up a little bit more on it, but about he was here about 6 years ago, and it's the same guy coming back, and the kids loved it. They made a Hanukkah that was almost up to the ceiling of the gym. It was very cool, and everyone that comes gets to play a part in preparing a certain piece of it, and then it all comes together, just like our community, to make something beautiful. And then I'm going to hand this part off to Stephanie.
Okay, sorry, I was muted. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm talking to myself. So what is J Baby? J Baby is an opportunity to be supportive of parents who are expecting or you're just new as parents. It helps to build the connection between you and your child, doing fun things. We are offering an amazing lineup of classes this fall. We have a class that's about getting back in shape with a trainer doing stroller exercise, using the stroller to exercise. We also have a Hello Baby, which is for our youngest little friends, and I am going to be leading. It's called Organized Chaos, which should be absolutely that, which is an open time for parents and children to come into our space. It's the Exploration Room, which is a perfect title for it. It'll be an exploration studio / everything room where they'll get to explore with different materials and just be a child and have that chance to get their hands in there, get their body in there, and just really learn about what they're playing with. We also have a music class with Common Tone. It's called Common Play, and they will be coming here coming to the J to do a music group with parents and their children. I am also running a class that's called Tinkering for Tots, it's STEAM. If you're familiar with the term or the acronym, it's science, technology, engineering, art, and music. And it's an opportunity to incorporate all these different pieces into learning. Each skill is embedded and is intentional for their learning, but the children are learning through fun opportunities to, whether it's painting, whether it's using sensory opportunities with shaving cream, or they are using the light table to explore where the light is coming from, how to change different things. And last but not least, I am also running a Shabbat play on Fridays. So we do, as a preschool, we do have a large Shabbat celebration, but this is a smaller sort of setting for parents and their little ones. And it is going to be learning, just as Danny mentioned earlier, about learning about Jewish values, but as they relate to everybody with the different Torah stories, with the parshas of the week and songs, and just a lot of fun. So if you would like more information, please, by all means, you can reach out to me. I believe the QR code is up in the corner, and or you can reach out to Danny, Mary Ida, myself, or anybody from the team, and we'd be happy to get you to the registration site.
I'm going to piggyback on that one too, real quick, just to say, for many of you, if you have your children with us in infant care, you may think that, why is this relevant to you? You're at work during the week and your children are with us, and we're so grateful for that. However, we do also have some rotating weekend classes. We're going to be offering a parent and toddler soccer shots, both during the week and on Sundays, as well as on Thursday afternoons. If you have a 3 through 5-year-old, they can get picked up directly from their class any given day, actually, for different specials, whether it's tennis with Adam, our tennis pro, or ballet babies, or Broadway tots, or soccer shots, which I just happen to know is on Thursdays. They can get picked up from their room, signed out. You'll add that the coach or trainer or teacher to their playground. They'll get signed out, they'll go to their special, and then if you don't pick up at that time, they can get returned to the classroom and sign back in. And if you do pick up typically at like 3:30 instead of 3:30 that day, you'll pick up at 3:50 or 4 o'clock when that class ends. On Sunday, along with that baby and me class that we're offering for soccer shots, there will also be a 3 through 5 after that, and then a I guess 6 through 8 as well. So if you have older children, if you have friends or family who may be interested, by all means, please send them our way, or direct them. For soccer shots specifically, they sign up on the Soccer Shots website. Everything else is through our website. But whereas Beth and Mike from Common Tone, who also lead our music classes at school on Wednesdays, are going to be doing Common Play, Jen, who is our music teacher throughout camp in the summer, is also going to be doing some drop-in dates for Jam with Jen on weekends, and possibly a yoga and different mindfulness experiences. So keep an eye out and an ear. And if you have younger children or older children or days off, or if you're looking for something great to do on the weekend, please remember just what we're doing here and check back in to see how you guys can participate. Thanks, Steph.
Okay, we're going to talk a bit here about communication. So communication at the J Early Childhood is valued as direct and open communication between home and school. Teachers, as well as our leadership team, provide and share important information, and we encourage you to do the same with us. And so success in the classroom depends on open and respectful dialogue. So how do you contact your child's teacher? You message them through the Playground app. That is the absolute best way to reach the teachers. You can also email your teacher directly. You can call the school, and Mary Ida will happily transfer you to the classroom. If you do send an email, teachers don't really check email during the day, except during nap time between 1:30 and 2:30. So if you do need to call the school, that number is 410-559-3556. And you will get Mary Ida on the other end from you, and she will gladly help you with that. So welcome to Playground. We are excited to share with you that we are transitioning to our new parent portal for communication. So we're going to be using Playground for communication, paperwork, attendance, and more. That more being sharing your child's day with you so that you know what your child has been doing. You should have already received an invitation from Playground. Please, please, please accept that invitation, set up your account, get your app downloaded. It is required for drop off and pickup. So we do encourage you to do that. Within the Playground app, we will be checking your child in at the beginning of the day, checking your child out at the end of the day. We will be sending you photos throughout the day, notes about your child's day. You get your class newsletter through there. Playground is a very secure and easy tool to use. Infant parents, for those of you who are in the infant and toddler program, you get your daily reports on eating, sleeping, and diapering habits throughout the day. We do ask that you share your morning routine with the teachers on the Playground app so that they know how your morning has started. So look for your Playground sign-up email, click your Create Account, download the Playground School Management app from Apple or Google. And then it can also be accessed on the web as well. So activate your account before school starts. We do have to have it the very first day. One other important thing to know about Playground, each guardian has to have a separate email to be able to be signed up for Playground. You can't use like one family email address for 2 or 3 guardians. Each one has to have their own. There is a quick start guide in the resource section once you get into your account. Review that. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am learning this as you are, but we'll be more than happy to help answer your questions that you may have. And if I don't know the answer, I will get in contact with someone who does. There is also technical support via Playground's live chat or help center. And I will tell you that from experience, their live chat is very helpful. They are very responsive, very quick turnaround with that chat. So it's been a great company to work with. As Danny mentioned, I am working diligently to get the calendar on there so that everything for school is in one place for you parents, to have that ease of seeing everything in one place. But the calendar will be on there. Your child's day will be on there. Photos will be on there. So it is any announcements that come from the school will also be on there as well.
With me. Everybody, all parents have get the complimentary membership to the J when you have signed up. So if you are currently members, your membership will the paying part will be dropped off. I think we are giving access that Sunday before school starts. So the 24th of August. If everybody who is a member will get a key tag, and you will use that key tag to scan in the vestibule to the preschool, and the security guard will see on their computer screen that you are a member and that you have the access to the preschool and you are able to come in. Now is a good time to come up to the J, get your membership. You wouldn't be able to use it until the 24th, but to get your key tags, it's just one less thing for you to have to do that first day of school. Every single person who enters the ELC will need their key tag or the sticker from the main desk at the J. We do not allow anybody to come in without their J membership or the sticker. If you have a grandparent, a nanny, a neighbor, someone else who is picking up on a regular basis, it is also a good idea for them to stop at the J, bring their ID, come up to the main desk. They will get scanned in and they'll be checked through a registry and to make sure that they're safe to come into the preschool. They will get a sticker, and then they can give this sticker to me and I will make them a little key tag so that every time that they come in to the J to drop your child off or pick them up, they don't have to keep going up to the front desk, and they would scan it in just like you would. Comes up on the computer screen of the security guard that they have access. If any of these authorized pickup people are already members of the J, they would just use their own key tag, or if they have the app and it has the barcode in there, that can be used as well. But they would need to get the access to the preschool. So they would be using the same number, the barcode. I just would need to give them access. We the way it's set up in the system is that every single school year, these authorized pickup people need to get access. So if a grandparent has been let in because they have the access, and then they come one day in this new school year, and the guard will say, there'll be a little red X. It's just that I need to give them access to the this year's school, this school year. Please know that anything that we are doing with allowing people in and making sure that everyone is permitted in is for the safety of your child. I know that it can be a hassle when someone comes down to pick up the child and they don't have a key tag, they don't have a sticker, and we're telling them that they have to go up to the main desk. And people will get frustrated, but it is something that we have to do to keep your children safe. And in addition to the access, they will also need to have the playground app to be able to sign them in and pick them up. There we go. So our school is open from 7:30 to 5:30. Our morning time, if the early drop off is in different classrooms for that morning time between 7:30 and 8:45. Typically by 8:30, all of the different classes are back into their own classrooms. We will have a list of all the early drop off rooms. The first day listed on my big window, just so you know where you're taking your child. And then we ask that the children are not picked up between 1 and 3. That is our nap time. If you need to pick up for a doctor's appointment or something like that, you would need to do it either before nap time or right after nap time. You can come in the school between 3 and 3:20 to pick up your child before carpool. And then in the afternoon, we run carpool 3:25 to 3:40, I believe. It changes from summer and school, and so it might be confusing. And so when you are dropping off during carpool, we will be getting them from their cars. But if you are walking in, you're going to be going to the classroom, and you are going to be scanning in with the teacher. Carpool runs in the morning from 8:50 to 9:05. There is, before you get to the big circle of the main entrance, you would turn left, and those are the 2 lanes of carpool. We ask that your kids are still buckled up and everything, and you're not on your phone, and you're not exiting your car until one of the teachers comes up to the car to get your child out of the car. They will have the the QR code to scan in, and then they will take your child to their classroom. It may be the child's teacher, it may be a floater, it may be another teacher, but they will be taken to their rooms. We do ask for carpool that because we do have that set time, we are trying to be as quick as possible, but also safety, of course, is priority. We totally lost my train of thought. Oh, the infant toddlers. If you have an infant or a toddler and an older child, you can either come in during the carpool lane and drop off your oldest kid and then pull over and park and then walk your infant or toddler up to the outside doors, or you can just bypass the carpool line, park. You could take your infant and toddler up to the different rooms. They are labeled on the doors, and sign in your infant or toddler, and then take your older child over to one of the teachers under the canopy, and then we would scan them in, and then we would walk them into school. When you are getting yourself familiarized with Playground, you will have a 4-digit code that you will be using to sign in and sign out. So please make sure that you know that before the first day of school. For afternoon carpool, I was right. It was 3:25 to 3:40. Everyone on the for the first week, the kids will be, we will be giving out the carpool numbers in the morning, and we ask that you display that in your windshield. A lot of times when you have it in the windshield, sometimes it's hard, especially for short people like me, it's hard to see the number. So we ask that you hold it up. You will get 3 copies of your carpool number. So if one for mom, for whoever, each parent, grandparent, nanny, whoever is picking up. We ask that you remain in your car until your child is brought out. You will need to get out of the car and buckle your child in. We are not able to buckle the kids in. And then you'll scan out. And same thing with morning carpool. Carpool time is not the time to have conversations with the teachers about how the child's day was, or this is what happened in the morning. If there are things that you need to communicate to the teacher, that's a good time to be putting in a message in Playground, so that if a child is having a rough morning or something like that, that the teacher is aware of, so that you're not taking the time in the morning, because it might not be the teacher, the classroom teacher, who is taking the child out of the car. And the teachers can always set up a time to meet either in person or have a phone call, but the carpool time is really not the time to be communicating about any issues or things that happen throughout the day. As I said before, we encourage you to bring your child by 9:15, just so that they have that routine and structure of their day. If your child is signed up for the 9 to 3:30 time, then they will be doing carpool. We do not let anyone come into the building 5 minutes before carpool starts, just so that the teachers can get their QR codes and get ready and everything to go outside, and when it's cold to get their coats on and everything. And then once carpool is over, then and the security guard is back at the desk, then you are able to come into the building if you choose to walk your child to the classroom. And then same thing in the afternoon, as I said before, not coming during nap time, which is 1 to 3. And then if you're picking them up, if you want to avoid the carpool line or something, then you have to pick up between 3 and 3:20. If your child has a doctor's appointment in the morning, it's fine to bring the child to school, but if they will not be arriving to school by 11:45, then we do ask that you keep them home for the day. It's very difficult, excuse me, for the child because around 11:45 is when they are cleaning up or coming off of the playground and washing up and getting ready for lunch. And then after lunch, they're putting everything away, getting ready for nap time. And it's hard to have a child who's been out all morning to then come into that transition of they have to eat and then it's time for them to rest. And so it's for the benefit of everyone, we ask that you keep your child at home if they aren't going to be at school by 11:45. If you know that you are going to be late, we do ask that you either call school or put a message into playground to let us know. Or if you're stuck at work and someone else is going to be picking up, you need to make sure that that person is, if they are not already an authorized pickup person in playground, that you need to add them to playground, and then they would have to go up to get a sticker if they are not already an authorized pickup that person. That's always why it's a good idea in the very beginning to even for any emergencies or anything, to get that taken care of before anything arises. And please keep in mind if there are any the lateness that about the $2 per minute that you are charged for late pickups. And if we see that the late pickup is a regular occurrence, then we do have the right to raise the $2 to even more. So I know it doesn't sound like a lot, $2 per minute, but $10, that's $20. I mean, 10 minutes late, that's $20. And it does add up very, very quickly.
Sorry, we just say something.
I'm sorry. I thought this was me, but it's on the roll.
Starting school, returning from camp, or even transitioning from camp, can be a time where there's a lot of heightened emotions for both children and families. I have had so many conversations since I shared that the groupings and class assignments weren't going to come out until Monday next week, with people who are truly concerned about whether or not their child is going to be with their best friend. One of the wonderful things about friends is that distance tends to make the heart grow fonder. And we have an incredible group of staff who, if your children are already here, know them so well. And we have talked through things with their current counselors and maybe who they had last year in school and who they're going to have this year. And one is that we do a lot as a whole school community. The other is that we go outside multiple times a day. We merge with children of the same age if they're here the earliest part of the day or the latest part of the day. And we're very intentional about the different things that we're doing when we're coming together with other classrooms. So there's no reason to think that if two kids are not in the same class with each other, that they're not going to have the opportunity to continue that friendship. And even better, you guys have the opportunity to continue to see each other both at school events and outside of school. And while transitions can be challenging, when transitions about separating children happen, it is often harder for the parents than it is for the children. we know with all the excitement and the nerves that happen at the start of the school year, that it can be really easy to not realize sometimes what's being said in front of your child about them or just about the experience or school, or sometimes even your thoughts about who their teachers are going to be. But what we want to request is that you keep conversations about school really brief and really positive, ensuring that your child knows that you believe in them, you are excited for them, you can't wait to hear about all the fun things that are going to happen, because there's no doubt in your mind that school's going to be a blast. When it becomes a little bit uncertain is when the children start to pick up on those nerves and anxiety. And it can make for a really unpleasant start to school for both you and your child. And that's certainly not what we want. So we always suggest to avoid over emphasizing like that first day jitters, and really help have your positive attitude help your child feel confident as they walk in on the first day. There may be tears, there may be real tears, there may also be that children just understand how to pull on their parents' heartstrings sometimes. And I get gloat an awful lot when that turns into tears at the end of the day because you go to pick up and they don't want to leave at the end of the day. I promise it will happen. It does make me feel really good, but not in a way that I don't want it to feel good for you. I just love that they are so happy and comfortable here, and they have created such strong relationships with both their educators and with their friends that like this is a place where they don't want to leave at the end of the day. It's a great feeling. But if you have concerns with your child's adjustment, please reach out to your teachers. As we mentioned earlier, all of our preschool teachers do have non-student contact time woven into their schedule 5 days a week. And so there's always an opportunity for a quick phone call. You can have conversations in Brightwheel. We don't want to leave them for, like, again, pick up and drop off conversations in front of your child or anybody else's child. They don't need to hear about those things. But we are here to support you and to partner with you. And so just reach out, let us know how you're feeling, and we will troubleshoot to the best of our ability, in all areas, really, but especially when it comes to transitioning to school. One thing that obviously helps set everyone up on the right foot is being able to join us on the 24th for our sneak peek and back to school breakfast. It'll give you the opportunity to see the room for the children to do some artwork so that when they come in on their first day of school, they can see their artwork. They already have a little bit of ownership and weight within that room. They've created memories with you there. You'll have enough baggage on the first day, physical and emotional, and your child and their emotions, that you don't need to bring in boxes of wipes and diapers and spare clothing. So when you can join us on that Sunday, you can drop all of that off in advance. And then you can go out and see one of our most exciting playgrounds and again, play and build community. So it's a great opportunity to try and alleviate things for the first day of school. The other thing is that no one size fits all in your approach to like how you say goodbye. We do suggest that you don't like duck out. Goodbyes may be hard, but feeling abandoned in that process is even harder. So it's important that they know that you'll always come back. And that's the kind of language that we use. If you have language at home you're using, please share it with the staff in the classroom and our leadership so that we can continue to emphasize that at school as well. But creating some kind of special goodbye ritual. We had one family that would get out of the car and carpool every day, and they had a line about being a superhero and asking super questions. Somebody else had a routine where they always talked about what was one good thing or one mitzvah they were going to do that day. And then the first thing they said every afternoon, even when they were, bending down to give a hug, was tell me about that mitzvah or different things like that. If your child is walking and standing on their own, then one of the like phenomenons here at the J is a tush push. You walk down the hallway and in all like 2s, 3s, and 4s rooms, it gives the children some ownership over pushing you out of the room rather than you abandoning them or leaving them. So they'll stand in the doorway when they're ready to go and they'll put their hands on your bottom and they go like this, and you can do this whole big over exaggerated, whoa, see you later, and dash down the hall, and head off to work. But whatever it is, I think the consistency is always so important. So whether it's you're going to do 3 high fives, a handshake, and a big hug, that's amazing. At the end of that, it's time to say goodbye and go. When you let it linger and you stay in the room longer, it's not only harder for your child to understand that boundary, but it can also be harder for the other children. But I always say, get as far away from vision as you can. Come and cry to us. We are here for you, especially those first couple weeks of school. We understand. And we will try and offer support. We'll have maybe some coffee the first couple of days of school so you can get out and catch your breath before you have to go drive. Just don't let your child see you that way. keep the tears for the ride, or for us, or for whoever you call when you drop them off. Because once they're here, they're going to have a great time, and Playground's going to allow you to see that. As soon as they dry those tears and start engaging with other children, or they sit in a teacher's lap or something, we are going to be there with a camera to document it and send it to you, so that you can take that sigh of relief before you get to the office that day.
What to wear? At Solar Early Learning Center, we believe that children learn best through hands-on active experiences, and that means things can get messy. To help your child be comfortable and safe during their day, please keep the following in mind. Dress for active play. Please dress your children in comfortable play clothes that can get dirty or stained. Children must wear well-fitting, closed-toed shoes with a back. Crocs and sandals are only allowed to and from the pool. On gym days, please send your child in rubber-soled sneakers for safety and support. Clothing should be easy for children to manage independently, especially for those using the toilet. Outdoor play. We go outside almost every day in sun, rain, or snow, so please dress your children appropriately for the weather. Staying inside when the class is outdoors is not an option. Outdoor clothing like boots, raincoats, snow pants, and layers should be easy for your child to put on and take off to promote independence. Please keep a set of seasonal spare clothes at school, including rain boots or snow boots, a raincoat, snow pants, extra layers, socks, underwear, pants or shorts, and shirts. If your child is too sick to participate in outdoor activities or swimming, they should remain at home. Please make sure to label all spare clothes. All clothing and accessories, including shoes, jackets, hats, and undergarments. For your convenience, you can order personalized labels through Mabel's Labels at mabelslabels.com. Just enter the JCC of Greater Baltimore to support the ELC. A minimum of 2 complete changes of seasonal clothing and multiple pairs of underwear should always be kept in your child's cubby. If your child borrows clothing from the nurse's office, please wash and return these items promptly and replenish their extra clothing supply. Preschool supply list. So things to be kept at school. Diapers and wipes as needed. Please be sure to keep enough at school. Sunscreen and bug spray. Basic care form. Hat, sweatshirt, a change of clothes, 3 complete seasonal sets, multiple pairs of spare underwear for friends who are working on or newly potty trained, bathing suit and towel for 3 and 4-year-olds, spare sneakers, rain boots, weather-related clothing to keep in cubby. To come in daily with your child, a backpack for your child's belongings, clear labeled spill-proof water bottle, lunch kosher style, nut-free. Anything that is not in its original packaging must be labeled nut-free. No drinks sent in from home. Anything from home that would make your child feel more comfortable during rest time. On Monday morning, please bring in a sheet or nap mat for your child's cot, along with a pillow or comfort item as needed. Nap items are sent home on Fridays to be washed. We do not allow toys to be brought to school, and all comfort items for rest time must remain in their cubby until it's time to rest on their cots.
So for all of my infant toddler friends, this is about the supply list that what you need to make sure that your little one is ready for school. So we ask that you bring in a minimum of 25 diapers. That is, hopefully is good for a few days, if not a week. Make sure that you have signed off on the basic care form if you want diaper cream to be applied or anything of the like. That's the same thing for sunscreen or any type of ointment or whatnot that gets put on your child. bring in things of wipes, a hat. We ask that you bring in at least one non-perishable food just in case it's needed, in case your child is hungry and they need just an extra little snack, that it's there for them. We ask that you bring in changes of clothes, 3 complete seasonal sets. So make sure that there's the short sleeve, long pants, shorts, and anything in between. Make sure if your child uses a passy or pacifier that it is labeled, as well as burp cloths and extra bibs, excuse me. Make sure that there's an extra crib sheet so they have a comfortable bedding while they sleep. For friends that are bottle feeding, we prefer plastic bottles only, and the formula has to be ready-made. The teachers are not able to prepare it on site. Be sure to label the bottle and the lid with your child's name as well as the date on the bottle. For meals, again, we ask that everything is labeled with your child's name and the date, and to send in a set of toddler silverware, make sure that that is labeled as well. And anything from home that would make your child feel more comfortable when they are at school. Monday morning, the sheets come in and they will be placed on their mattresses, and then they will be sent home on Fridays to be washed. And on a side note that I forgot to mention before, where I'm extremely excited as both assistant director as well as coordinating with 4J Baby, that the infant and toddler program, that they will have the opportunity to come in and experience the organized chaos as well as the STEAM, the tinkering tots with STEAM. So they'll have their own time to come in and play around and explore and wonder and learn. And I am beyond excited for them to come in. And as well as for Shabbat, my hope is to be going into each of the classrooms and hopefully playing guitar. Still working on that, so I can't promise that. And to be able to sit and just be with your children and watch as they have this all in their eyes. I'm sorry, I was muted. For diapering and toileting, please make sure that you send in a proper amount of diapers and wipes. Toilet training, all of the teachers are happy to help you with toilet training. It's not something that we do outright. We work alongside of the families as partners, again, to help your child learn to become independent. And they'll let you know when they're ready to start going to the bathroom on their own. With that being said, they do have accidents. So again, extra clothes, diapers, pull-ups, whatever they may be using at that moment are always an important thing to be sending in just for those possible accidents. Oh, and also, there was one thing that anything that if your child does have an accident, that the soiled clothing will be placed in a sealed plastic bag and put in your child's cubby or cubicle to go home with them. If you prefer, with your permission, we can dispose of the soiled clothing. Due to health and safety regulations, we are not able to wash them at the center. And please be sure to let your teachers, your child's teachers, know what you would like for them to do with the clothing and how that's to be handled.
Thank you. Between talking about supply lists and Mindy and allergies and things like that, we've really gone through all of the food. I do think it's important still to say that in the summertime, when we have a lunch option, everything does come from a kosher restaurant. When we do our Pizza Wednesdays, that is from a kosher restaurant. Anything we prepare here in our kitchen is going to be kosher. Our kitchen is kosher style. It is not under the supervision of a mishkiach. And so for those that do keep strict kosher expectations at home, while I know there's some leniency for children, I just want to make sure that everyone understands when they're coming what it is that we are able to promise and uphold with on our end within that kitchen. Everything we serve will be kosher, nut-free, and meat-free. And again, from our kitchen. If you have any questions about allergies, if you have preferences, I know there are many families that don't eat meat and things like that, or, choose not to eat egg for your well-being, for your child's well-being, I would let them make sure that the nurses know. I always feel more confident and comfortable when they get the same kind of allergy poster as a child who would have a reaction. So if they can eat it in recipes, but they can't eat it raw, or not raw. We don't eat raw eggs. Independently or things like that, that's totally fine. Just let them know so that we can make sure that the teachers are all very clear on the expectations as well. As a reminder, this is a list of all of the forms, I believe. There's some other, like the walking permission slip and things like that. They used to be within a packet on Playground. The way that we have it now, it's no longer within a packet. So it's a standalone. It may not be listed here. We'll do a quick sweep tomorrow and make sure that all of the forms are listed as optional when they should be and mandatory when they're not. Please be aware that right now, most people are just in a general homeroom. We created one, and then we went through and separated infant, toddler, and a preschool homeroom. But I don't think that we've moved every child into the right room. And on Monday, you'll end up in your actual classroom. However, for the time being, everything is shared with you. And because for infant, toddler, it will be required that everyone fill out the infant, toddler daily needs form. It looks like it is required right now for preschoolers. When you move rooms, it will not be. Just a heads up that we know that one looks a little bit funky, and it's only because we're in this interim time transitionally right now. Please make sure that all of these forms are in. If they are not in, your child cannot start. I do know that we gave out the forms a little bit later than intended. Our goal is usually by the beginning of July for you to have everything in your hands. We did send out intentionally the medical forms back then in early, I think it was July 7th, that Monday after the 4th, that we sent out the medical forms and everything. But we do know that takes time with the doctors and things like that. A lot of the information, like the, updated immunizations, you should be able to get on your child portal, but they cannot start without part 2 and obviously part 1, which you fill out, and their immunizations and everything. So just make sure that that's all in as soon as possible. And unfortunately, submitting it, I'd say by Friday afternoon next week is too late to assume that we're going to have time to go through it, get it all approved. Our nurses do not technically work next week. So all of the medical forms, our hope is that at the very least would be in by this Friday, so that we're not asking the nurses to try and figure out a time on their week off to come in and process those forms. And then if you just think about all the children in the school and all the paperwork that comes with each of them, even if it's not a medical form, it's still very few of us that are trying to go through it all before the first day of school. So really, obviously, we are aware that we sent it out later than we want ideally because of the transition to Playground, but hopefully the way that Playground allows us to do it should save you a lot of time in ensuring those are all thoroughly completed as well. And then if you haven't seen, it's been in a couple of emails and things like that, we do have our Pizza Wednesday fundraiser and our Shabbat Shop Friday where you can get Rosendorf's delivered right to your child's cubby. Definitely a perk of being in a Jewish preschool. And so here is both the link and the QR code for pizza and for Shabbat Shop. Please note that it is a fundraiser for the Family Association. So once you make the payment, we are not able to process refunds or anything like that once they've been processed. While we do know that some families may like to do it like a month at a time, please know that orders for everything are placed on Monday for that current week. So if we don't have the orders in before we leave on Friday, they're not in the count that's being placed that week. So especially when it comes to like Pizza Wednesdays, when you may plan accordingly, make sure we're able to plan accordingly as well and get it in at least a week in advance. And then again, just a reminder with a link for you to RSVP for our sneak peek on the 24th. I have not had, I think I've had 2 questions and I answered them both. So there's nothing I need to share unless people have questions at this point. If you want to either unmute yourself or pop them in the chat, you are welcome to. If not, you can always just shoot us an email about something more personal, or we look forward to seeing you on the 24th.
Sorry, the chat is disabled, so I couldn't send it. Is there a way to get a copy of this PowerPoint?
Absolutely. So we're going to send it out. We recorded the Zoom, so we will send out the Zoom as soon as I can get marketing to get it up on private YouTube for me.
Okay, awesome. Just to get the QR codes and the links and things like that.
Absolutely. They're also all in the handbook, which you can access directly through Playground as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, sorry, I have a question.
Of course.
If I sent medical forms to Mindy a while ago, do I have to also upload those separately into Playground?
If you happen to have a copy, it will tell you it's delinquent until they are done. However, I think when we used to have to do it all through Salesforce or your JCC portal, we didn't have the ability to upload it in your place. If you don't have a copy because Mindy has it, I do think that our team, once things calm down a little bit, can get it up there so you stop getting the like overdue notice. It just may take a little bit, so we ask you to be understanding for that.
And will I still be getting all the same information, like his classroom and everything, even though if he doesn't start till November?
Yes.
Okay.
The only reason you wouldn't is if anybody on here, and I don't think you do. Jake, I apologize if this is you and I'm just forgetting right now. If you had an infant toddler January 2 starting with us, that won't come out because we make another transition at that point. We'll handle the fall before we get to the winter transition. Any other questions, guys? No? Thank you so much for hanging with us. I don't believe it was said. I know that originally membership was supposed to join us the morning of the 24th. They are not able to join us on the 24th. They will on the 25th and the 26th if there's anyone who cannot make it to the sneak peek. But if you are coming to the sneak peek, you do need to have a membership card in order to access the ELC that day. So please plan accordingly and come before 9:30, go in through the main entrance of the J. Make sure they know that I'll give you a double header right here.
I've got a question. I'm sorry.
Sorry, hold on one second.
You go ahead. It was so hard for me to unmute myself, but you go ahead. I've got a question when you're done.
Okay, sorry, Rachel. So you have to go to membership to get your badge. You want to make sure that not only do they know when you go that you are getting a membership badge, not just the sticker that you would have gotten when you came on your tour. And before you go to membership, please make sure that you and your partner are both listed in your Salesforce account. I know it sounds silly, but you could have the same last name and 2 licenses that show you are at the same address. If you are not both there, they will only give a membership card to the one person who is listed in the system. And often people will go in and whoever filled out the application is going to, put their name in and their children's name in and forget their partner. So make sure that you're both in the system and then make sure that you both leave with a plastic key fob with a barcode on it, not the sticker. And we'll make sure they know in advance that you guys will have some new families stopping in. But we just want to avoid you having to go up another day then and get a badge in the future. And if you bring anybody with you, if they're not members, they'll need to go and do that too. So if you have grandparents or anything like that, just be forewarned. That sometimes it can be a little bit hectic up there. You can definitely leave in our vestibule right in front of the guard. We have our armed guard who's with us any moment children are within the wing. And so car seats, strollers, things like that, are left there all the time. We suggest not leaving your wallet, but it is within sight and eye line of the guard. Rachel, I cut you off before. Do you have it?
Oh,
we go.
no, I'm sorry. I have several questions actually. I'm kind of panicking over here about the medical forms. I did not understand about all those forms, and I don't have any of them, so I'm obviously going to get them as soon as I can. But we're going to be in a lot of trouble if he can't be there on Monday the 25th. So what can we do there? I can get those forms to you as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's definitely a question for your doctor. I've learned so much about what some doctors' offices charge, some don't, some charge a rush fee, some charge one flat fee a year and they'll fill out as many forms as you want. Someone else told me if you do it in office, you don't pay anything and they'll do it while you wait. So I know there's a lot of different rules and I'm not sure about what your doctor's is, but I would check in with them. Just know part 1 of the medical you fill out. The vaccinations you should be able to get from your portal. Lead tests, sometimes you can get it from your portal, sometimes you can't. Part 2 needs to be filled out by the doctor. On the emergency card, you don't need the doctor's signature. However, you do need all their contact information unless your child has an allergy or a medical need or anything like that where we would need more information. Then the doctor does need to sign off on it.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, I will be in touch with marketing and get this posted online as soon as I can. I would say if not by Friday, just because it's the last week of camp, it will come out on Monday with the email with class placements, and we can actually link it directly in Playground so that everybody has everything in the one-stop shop. We hope that you have a wonderful night and appreciate you hanging with us through all this. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.